If I didn't have to be a black man, I'd be an iron butterfly, taking rest on placid petals I deem deserving of the pull, pulling with the proboscis with more strength than a million black men marching on Washington, pulling until I get my fill. Then I'd spill over the side. Spreading my wings, I'd glide counterclockwise in a spiral nature. While watching me, the beasts of prey are wise of my iron nature, so I can enjoy nature in a way that I could not, being a black human, being a black man. I wrote that piece when I was in undergraduate school. I wrote that piece while dealing with culture shock. The culture shock that I was dealing with wasn't just from high school to college. It was transitioning from Okinawa, Japan to Cleveland, Ohio. From Department of Defense schools to urban public university. From loose hangback beach living to urban, rusty, blue-collar funk. But what did I have? Well, being that I'm from the golden age of hip-hop, I had music and culture at my disposal to examine. And I'm positioned as a MC or poet, so words as narrative text is within my wheelhouse. Luckily, there were already poets doing this type of work. Some rigorous interrogation of the social constructs of race within a city. There's poets like Amiri Baraka and Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni, Felipe Luciano, Gil Scott Heron, that's just to name a few. So what I decided to do was develop a crew, an organization, a performance poetry troupe called the Black Poetic Society. And our mission was to facilitate other people's poetry while examining, creating, poeting, singing, dancing, the social justice truths that we came across. And we opened this up to the community and to the college, and people would come and we'd listen and we'd talk and we'd share ideas and develop community voice and our own voices. And during this period, a piece would have sounded like this. When the revolution returns to Cleveland, will you be leaving or will you believe in your people? Where will I be? Will I be in Psychology 362 when somebody strolls in and gives me a wink? How will I know what to do? Maybe I need a crew. Maybe I need an organization that will teach me how to be a freedom fighter. Not to be confused with the Cleveland State NAACP resume writers. I'm already confused with Americans calling me nitwick and Nigerians calling me akata, cotton picker. I choose to recluse into jazz music while others retreat to malt liquor. When the revolution returns to Cleveland, will you be leaving or will you believe in your people? Culturally responsive poetic inquiry. What is that? Well, to break it down into 3 stages or 3 steps to keep it simple, number 1 would be immerse yourself within the culture. Learn its nuances, its mores, its interactions. In the regular words, that means go and live amongst the people. The second step would be to gather data from the subjects and look for consistent themes and parse out those themes and develop and refine an artistic expression. Find out what they're saying and say it back to them. Third, you take that work when you're all done and you present it to them, say, hey, is this what you're saying? Is this clean and clear and direct? And they'll let you know whether you're on target or you need to go back to the drawing board. And for me, one of the things that pulled at my heartstrings had to do with the children. For me, it was about education, their well-being, and their welfare. And children will let you know what themes they engage in, what's compelling to them, what's funky to them, quickly. Anybody who's ever dealt with children or has children themselves know children let you know quickly what they like and don't like. So things like monsters or heroes and champions, they come to the fore. With my son, I have a saying with my son to engage him, son, I fight the big monsters and you fight the little monsters. And when the little monsters become big monsters, let me know. And that worked for a long time, but recently he told me, Dad, I don't believe in monsters anymore. I said, okay, well, whatever you're scared of, just let me know and then I'll fight that. So during this period of time, when I started engaging with education and children well-being, I wrote pieces that were like this. Main man Les McCann, trying to make it real, but compared to what? He passed that to Roberta Flack, who in turn blows it up. Stanley Clarke, bass booms like thunder. Didn't you know you be jamming? Stevie Wonder, Master Blaster jamming. George Duke Ellington, Duke of Minnesota is Prince. Rap sense, Run DMC is in the house, is in the place to be, but we exodus with Bob Marley, movement of jazz people. Witness Wilson Pickett. Louis Uncle Tom Armstrong saying Diz and Bird had it all wrong. So to the media, he foot shuffled and called it angry music. But all the while, they're just creating black jazz for black people. Until this day, they're unequaled. Little Richard, Temptations, Chuck Berry, Chuck D, Isley Brothers hearing footsteps in the dark. Maybe it was Ray Charles on some country stuff. Maybe it was Jimi Hendrix on some next stuff. Or maybe it was War, slipping into darkness. All the while asking, why can't we be friends? Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, living off the wall, still all the way live. Marvin Gaye, what's going on is our music. West African drum, Haitian percussion, Jamaican rhythm, Harlem lyrics, Soweto soul. Alabama blues, California funk, Washington go-go. Mississippi lynching, Florida tar and feathering, French, Dutch, British colonialization is the inspiration. You can't fake it or truly take it. We make it, they steal it. Paul Simon, Lisa Stansfield, Vanilla Ice and Al Jolson. Smiling, not joking. We made most music, but became background singers for Michael Bolton. But with majestic amounts of melanin, this too shall pass. Because when you're jam-packed with melanin, whatever you do, endeavor, pursue, will be great, straight, no chaser. Culturally responsive poetic inquiry. Why is that important for children? There are dominant discourses and discursive practice that say, this is what beauty is. And these are the type of children that are favored and they grow up to be these things. But we need messages that encourage beautiful brown and black faces to ensure that they have efficacy and they can feel confident and competent and on the verge of expression themselves. Because as I said before, in the third step, the subjects, the people, the community should be able to say it back to you. So the children should be able to confirm that they feel beautiful, that they are worthwhile. But who's responsible for this? I could say the poets because there's a plethora of them. Nowadays, there's a slam poet on every corner. But not so clear is the family. Who's responsible within the family? It's not just the parents. It's an intergenerational thing. It's sitting around the table talking about family history, talking about current events, creating language-rich environments with messages of positive image that shape the identity. These things are important. It's also the teachers. We know Derek Bell, Faces at the Bottom of the Well, but there's also Dr. Cynthia Dillard, who's opening schools in Ghana and bringing kente cloth back for African-American children to see and get a sense of place. Less talked about, though, is the Head Start preschool teacher, Dina Washington, who sings the classroom rules as a form of classroom management because that's what the children like. That's what the children say, hey, we engage in singing. So when they get a little unruly, she sings, wait a minute now, follow directions. The first time given, not the second or the third, but the first time given. And what shows is that we engage in the singing. The children say, we engage in the singing because we do a call and response thing. So she's learned that she could stop halfway through, follow directions the first time given, and wait. And they say, not the second or the third, but the first time given. You're not doing it. It's a community effort to create these language-rich environments that are culturally specific. Because children need to see these themes. They need to learn how to navigate and have confidence, competence, and be on the verge of expression. So I'll leave you with this piece. From Washington to Watts. Rhythm writers and spoken artists play the scene down to the talking bone. Bad to the Bone Brothers stand as wordsmith in ancient killing form, pulling poems. The sisters of soul poem, sonic the sap of experience, and phonic your mind with strength, catalyst. From Washington to Watts, descending majestic afro knots, here to hip-hop your tale, strong funkin'. Funky Afrique wordsmiths, jazzoids, performance poets, coerce the listen and vanguard the youth. Young black literati, oh yeah, hit me with that style one time. From Washington to Watts, we are expressive.